So this is my dog Ava, and I'm going to be telling you all the reasons you should not get yourself a working Cocker Spaniel. I also have an Italian Greyhound, but this video is all about you, darling. It's all about your terrible traits and why you're such a bad dog. Not really. She's a brilliant dog, and look, she just loves... She's very affectionate, but I'll come on to that. Let me just go sort this out. Right. The dogs have been taken for a walk so I can get this filmed, because otherwise... it's going to be chaos. First thing I should say, Ava is not actually fully working Cocker Spaniel. I did a DNA test because when I got her as a puppy, I was like, she does look like a working Cocker Spaniel, but she's got some traits of a Springer Spaniel. And I was just convinced that I'd been lied to when I went to pick her up. I saw the mum. The mum was a working Cocker. Turns out, DNA test, she is half Springer, half Cocker, which makes her a Sprocker Spaniel. However, she does have more working Cocker Spaniel traits, I think, than Springer Spaniels. She's very small for a Sprocker Spaniel. She hasn't really inherited much from her father. Every time that I see someone who also has a working Cocker Spaniel, Ava's maybe slightly bigger. But then when I see other Sprocker Spaniels, she's a lot more petite than them. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, I've put working Cocker. Do with that information what you will. But this video is not necessarily to put you off from getting a Cocker Spaniel. It's to make you aware of what it takes to of what it takes to welcome a Spaniel into your home. Oh my gosh, they are the cutest breed of dogs in my humble opinion. I've, growing up, always had Border Collies, and I love Border Collies. But I think it's the ears, the droopy ears that make it look like they've got a bob. I'm like, I can't resist Cocker Spaniels. And so when it was time for me 5 years ago to get my own dog, I decided, I was like, I want a Spaniel. And so I just got one. And I didn't think about the repercussions of that. So basically, at the time, I was living in an apartment. Then once I got Ava, I typed in Cocker Spaniel in apartments, and it was like not suitable for apartment living. And I was like, oh, it's too late now. Anyway, so maybe that will lead me on to my first point. Energy levels. Oh my gosh, she was insane. When I first got her, she was absolutely manic and crazy. Even since puppy, she loved biting, she loved chewing, she was running up and down the flat. Once she was like a few months old and she could go outside on walks, she would just not tire out. She'd just run and run and run and run and run. So she was crazy. Now she's 4 years old, she's nearly 5. She's calmed down a lot, and she's not as crazy as she was, but she is. Now that I've got a Italian Greyhound, compared to him, he could sleep all day. She can't. She's busy. She does nap occasionally, but she wants to be constantly stimulated. So if you want an easy life, if you want a dog who's just gonna, fit with your routine, a Cocker Spaniel or a working Cocker Spaniel is not for you. And if you're wondering what a working Cocker Spaniel means, well, there's two types. You've got a show Cocker Spaniel and a working Cocker Spaniel. The show Cockers have like the longer ears. They're maybe a bit dumpier. They tend to put on weight a bit more easily, I think. And they're maybe a little bit calmer. However, the working Cocker Spaniel is like bred for their working instincts, which leads me on to my next point, which is their hunting drive. Working Cocker Spaniels, I think show Cocker Spaniels were also, they've still got some hunting drive in them, but the difference is the show ones are bred for their aesthetics, whereas the working Cocker Spaniels have been bred for their drive and their energy and their passion and their footwork. Basically, because of Ava's hunting instincts, it makes recall quite hard. So that was one of the hardest things. And the scariest thing is to let her off the lead. So one thing, if you do have a puppy, get a long line. So we got one that was like 6 meters long, so she could sort of run off lead, although she was still on lead, and we could sort of grab the other end if needed to. But yeah, that is something quite hard, because lots of Cocker Spaniels, if they see a squirrel when they're out walking, boom, they're gone. I had it maybe about a year ago where we were walking in a field and there was some deer at the other end of the field, boom, gone, chasing the deer. That said, the saving grace was balls. Oh my gosh. And it's because of her hunting drive that she loves balls. She loves fetch. She obviously retrieves things. That's what they're used for, going and catching birds that the owners have shot out the sky and bringing it back to you. So they're really good at fetch and bringing it back. So the best thing I did was get her addicted to balls, because now we could be in any situation. There could be food, there could be other dogs, there could be distractions. If I've got a ball, she is completely focused on me. So that is good in some senses. It's also very annoying because if a ball is out at any one time, she'll be just focused on the ball, trying to play constantly. Our friends that look after her, I think they just let her have a ball the whole time, and they're like, oh, Ava does not stop. She's constantly on the go, and we're like, yeah, you need to put the ball away and then she'll calm down, because if her toys are left out, she will just play and play and play and play and play. And if you want her to calm down, she literally has to see me put it away in a drawer, and then she'll go, okay. And then she'll chill out. But yeah, she's quite demanding. So that's on to the next one about being quite demanding. It's a positive and a negative. They are so affectionate. And I think this is where the Springer Spaniel side comes out. From what I've been told, Springer Spaniels are incredible. They're like shadow dogs. They follow their owners absolutely everywhere. They're super, super attached. And so I can't quite say if this is what all working cockers are like, although if you've got a working Cocker Spaniel or a show Cocker Spaniel, let me know down in the comments if your dog's like this. But she is so attached to me as her owner. Even now, I normally take the dogs for a walk. My partner's just left to take them for a walk, and Ava was sat on the sofa with her collar and lead on, and he was calling her going, come on, we're going for a walk. And she was just sat next to me because she wanted me to go with her. And he had to come and get her and take her away. She'll be fine on the walk now. She'll have forgotten about me. But she's so attached. Constantly attacks you with kisses, as you saw. Constantly licking your face, which obviously I know you can train out of them if you want to. Whereas I quite like an affectionate dog. I've always wanted a really, really needy dog. Maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But it works for me. But if you're not that sort of person, if you're like, I can't cope with a clingy dog, don't get a working Cocker Spaniel or a Springer Spaniel, because they're not the dogs for you. The next thing, which is really hard, is the barking. They are really good guard dogs. It might be because they're so attached to their humans that they want to protect them. It might be that their predatory drive is quite strong, that they're also like, they see something move and they want to go for it. But Ava will bark at a car driving down the street. We've lived in this house now for nearly 2 years. You'd think she'd be used to it. A car drives past, barking. A person walks past, barking. If she sees a postman come, barking. It's so frustrating that I've had to buy this, actually, pet corrector. And I saw this online. Initially, when I saw that, I was like, that's terrible, thinking it was like you spray it on your dog. You don't. It's literally just air. And it makes a short, sharp noise, which is to mimic like a hissing noise in nature. If they were to hear a noise like that, it like jolts them out of themselves. And oh my gosh, the best thing I've bought, she's nearly 5 and I've only just done this. Bought this on Amazon, it was a few quid, maybe like £5 or something. Whenever she barks, I spray it. It stops her immediately. And then I reward her for being quiet and tell her she's being good and give her treats while she's quiet. If she barks again, do it. And she's gotten so much better. And I've only used this for about a week. So this isn't sponsored, but I will try and leave a link down below. Pet corrector, I really, really advise it. But yeah, don't worry, I'm not spraying anything on her. You just do it near their head, near them. And they're like, oh, what's that? But because she barks at absolutely everything. And it's very, very annoying. The next one is grooming. I didn't really expect Spaniels to need a groom. Show Cocker Spaniels different. They tend to be, have a lot longer hair, longer ears, so there's more hair on their ears. But even working Cocker Spaniels, they are quite fluffy. And so she needs grooming. She didn't for the first year or year and a half of her life. She had a lovely sleek coat. However, it starts to go red, even though she's black. It starts to go like a reddish colour, very fluffy, and she drops a lot of hair. So she goes to the groomer maybe like 4 times a year, and my groomer charges me about £45 a time. So it's not the cheapest thing in the world. It's also not that big a deal. Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, okay, £200 a year to groom Ava, to have her looking tidy, to keep her comfortable. Because I say it's not just about her looking tidy. Her fur will go matted because she's got such a strong drive to run through grass and hunt and chase balls. She's running in the summer, especially running through fields of wheat, running through grass, like lots of grasses with lots of seeds. She'll come out covered in seeds and burrs and things like that, and I'll have to pry them out, give her a shower. That's the other thing as well, because apparently Spaniels are water dogs, and she loves water. Any puddle, any mud, any water, she jumps in. I shower Ava every single day. I've heard from other Spaniel owners, this is definitely a working Cocker Spaniel trait. They just are drawn to water. So be prepared. If you get a working Cocker Spaniel, you will probably have to shower them every single day. And it's now just such a part of my routine that I don't even think about it. I'm like, oh, dog walk, shower, Ava, done. But my dogs growing up, Border Collies, they didn't need a shower every day. I'd shower them maybe like every month. So yeah, that is something to bear in mind. But yeah, the grooming definitely helps keep her under control, keeps her fur from matting, and it's definitely something that I didn't really anticipate getting a Cocker Spaniel. And the final one is linking on from the ears. Ear problems. So Cocker Spaniels are renowned for having ear problems. I didn't know this was a thing, again, from having a Border Collie growing up whose ears are sort of up. That means air can travel into their ear and it just dries out their ear canal. It's nice and dry in there, no problems. Cocker Spaniels, because their ears are like this and it's not exposed to the air, it provides a real... I can't believe I'm doing the video like this. It provides a really moist environment for bacteria to grow in the ear, especially because she's so drawn to water. She'll jump into rivers, streams, lakes, puddles, whatever, get water inside her ear. Her ears won't dry out because they're flapped down like that. And so I have to clean out her ears probably every month. I have to get some ear cleaner, some pads, open her ear up and sort of wipe inside it. Sometimes I even have to get some special ear cleaner from the vets that goes inside her ear canal and sort of rub her ear and massage it in, and that's supposed to dry out the ear canal. But not just that, because of the flappy ears, grass seed. Oh my gosh, grass seed is a danger for all dogs. So basically in late summer or in autumn, when the grass is in the field, I'm very mimey in this video. The grass is in the field that are like swishing like this with all the seed at the top. When it dries out, they flake off really easily. And this was soon after getting Ava. She was still counting as like a puppy or an adolescent. She suddenly started crying on a walk and we were like, what's happened? And she was shaking her head and she was in a lot of pain, crying. Anyway, we called the emergency vet and they were like, it's probably grass seed. Has she been running in grass? And we were like, yeah, probably got a grass seed in her ear. You're going to need to bring her in. Turned out that's exactly what happened. And the reason it happens a lot with Cocker Spaniels, again, is because when you've got a Border Collie with ears like this, their ears kind of stay out of it and there's no movement. They just sort of run through, the ear canal sort of facing upwards. With theirs, the ear canal is sort of a bit down, and when they run, their ears go up and flap down, and it's very cute and it's very funny. But if there's grass here, they flap up onto the grass and then a grass seed goes into the ear canal. And apparently it's a problem with all Spaniels, all floppy-eared dogs with big floppy ears. And it cost us like £900. Luckily we had insurance, but we still had to pay a bit of excess. But she was in a lot of pain. They were like, we can't get it out, so we're going to have to put her under. So they did that, gave her anesthetic, put her under. It was awful. Really, really bad. So I did at one stage buy her some earmuffs. I don't know if I have a picture of it, but you can buy them online and it goes around her head and it protects her ears so they can run through grass. However, it's a lot of faff and she didn't like wearing it. So now I just try to keep her away from long grass and don't let her run in it, which is sad because she loves running through long grass, but it's not worth the aggro. But yeah, they're prone to ear infections and they're prone to getting grass seed in their ears. Also, grass seed can go in their eyes and in their noses, but that's the same with all dogs. Any dog that's running through a field with grass seed, it can go in their paws, it can go in their eyes, their nose, but with Spaniels, it can also go in their ears. So that's something to bear in mind. Every dog breed has their own sort of issues. You know, you might hear like, I don't know, something like Labradors tend to have joint issues, or this dog has that issue. With Cocker Spaniels, I think it tends to be their eyes and ears that they develop problems with later on. But that's a future problem because Ava is not quite 5 yet, so maybe that will happen when she's a bit older. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Let me know down below if there are any other things that people should be aware of or some of the negatives of owning a Cocker Spaniel. Obviously, the positives way outweigh the negatives, and I would get a Spaniel now forever. They're the perfect size. As I said, I love Border Collies, but they are bigger and I can just pick her up. She's like small enough that I can like pick up if I want, but she's also big enough that she's like a proper dog. Do you know what I mean? None of these small, tiny dogs. I mean, I love all dogs, but I hope you found this helpful or interesting at least. Please subscribe if you're new here. I post videos every single week and I will see you next time with another video. Bye.